So this is a review of Algebra 1, given in an honors Algebra 2 trig class, but still they expect you to remember this. So they want you to graph this, and then also only for the real value. So the way to graph a quadratic, and this I'm kind of summing up for you like an entire semester worth of work, but basically the way to graph it, this is in standard form. In standard form is good because it gives you the y-intercept. That's about it. So we know the y-intercept is -5. Let's call these by 2. So there's the y-intercept. And then to find the vertex, remember this is a parabola, right? So the vertex is going to be -b over 2a, comma, and then you have to plug that in.
Okay.
So here's b, here's a is 1, and c is -5. So -b is +4 over 2a, 2 times 1, which is 2, so that's just 2. So the x-coordinate of the vertex, v sub x, which is that right there, v sub x, is 2. So 2, comma, now let's plug it in. 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. I'm basically finding f of 2. I'm plugging in 2 for the function.
Okay.
You follow?
Yeah.
Equals 4 minus 8 minus 5, which is what, -9?
Yeah.
Check if I did that right. So 2, -9 is the vertex. So 1, 2, -9. Here's 6, 8, 9. There's your vertex.
Okay.
Now, if that's my vertex, well, I can see one of my points here. So where's my other point going to be?
Like along the line.
It's going to be symmetric to that. Do you remember how their parabolas are always symmetric about the origin? So the other point is going to be this same distance away over here.
Okay.
So that point would be 4, comma, -5.
Okay. So for this, you pretty much just plug numbers in.
You really don't need anything else.
Okay.
Because you have you have 3 points, and 3 points essentially shows you your graph. Now, what they might ask you for is that x-intercepts. That would be the next point. They'd say, hey, find the x-intercepts for this. So how do you find x-intercepts? You solve the equation 0 equals x squared minus 4x minus 5. Again, this was a review of algebra 1. So how do you do that? This took like an entire quarter to teach you, basically.
Is that the x plus whatever? X
Yeah, you could do it either. You could either use quadratic formula or you could factor.
Yeah. So
And people don't want to factor, but you have to learn how to factor. Factoring is not going to go away. You're going to need to do it. So let's see if it factors.
Plus 4x minus 1. Or no.
Close. X minus 5 and x plus 1. Right? X minus 5 and x plus 1. And sure enough, it does factor. And which means zero product property, set each of those equal to 0. So your x-intercepts are 5 and -1.
Okay.
5, so here's 5 right here, and here's -1 right here. And sure enough, hey look, they are the same distance away.
Oh, okay.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's my points, and now you can draw your graph in, and your graph would be like this.
Okay.
So that's how you graph a quadratic equation in standard form, and a couple optional things you can do as well.